Is there anything you can't do for this offense, my friend? Because another big game from you.
I mean, I feel like I always go out there to try to do the best I can for.
When I watch you, I see somebody who looks like he's a very smart running back. Maybe you don't have that electrifying burst that some backs do.
That hurts to hear.
No, but you know what I mean. I mean, how have you matured as a back? Because nobody's better in the CFL right now than you.
Yeah, like I said, man, I take a lot of pride in it, and I feel like I hear things like that, and that only adds more gas to my tank when I hear that, because I feel like I've been hearing that my whole career. I heard it last year, I'm hearing it now, so that just, I feel like it just adds more fuel to the fire.
You're also a dual threat, though. I really like what you're doing coming out of the backfield, catching the ball. How much have you worked on that aspect of your game, and how much does it help the rest of the offense when you can come up with plays like that to soften up the secondary and make them thinking about covering you, which also frees up your receivers?
Yes, sir. I just feel like during the offseason I train a lot as a wide receiver, because I feel like running back is kind of hard to really like translate that, like in like you can put like a bunch of bags and stuff down and make a bunch of moves, but it's a lot easier to just go out there, run some routes, and give it a lot of receivers and DBs and try to learn different things like that. And I just feel like as a running back, the more you can do, it's always the better you are. I've always taken pride in and looked up to those running backs that can really do it all.
When you look at your contributions to this team, did you put numbers on it at the start of the season as to, 1,500 yards, 2,000 yards, maybe 600 yards receiving? Did you put numbers to yourself?
Yeah, I always set goals. I always set huge, just crazy goals, because, I feel like it's always crazy till it happens.
I didn't mean any disrespect when I talked to you about the speed, but I've really been impressed by what you've done. Have you surprised yourself with it?
I mean, I just felt like, for me personally, I felt like I always just needed someone that believed in me. But no, I don't take it personal. I mean, I do take it personal, but yeah, I feel like it just adds fuel to the fire. But yeah, I feel like I've always just needed a place that believed in me, and that, because I know I've always believed in myself. So, obviously credits to Buck, credits to to his organization for sure.
When you look at your offense and the way that Nathan's guiding it, I like the way that's coming together. I think maybe, execution, you guys could probably get a little bit better at that, but what are you seeing from Nathan and this offense, the way that's performing?
Man, I just feel like whenever 12's back there, like I've always said, like he always gives us a chance. It's the game's never over as long as 12's at the helm. Any of those guys, but I just feel like with 12 back there, he just brings a different energy, a different burst, a different like we said, like he's Houdini back there. You know what I'm saying? He's never down, he's never out.
Your play is putting respect on the number as well as the name on the back of the jersey. Respect earned, I believe.
I hope so. You know what I'm saying? I know we're only at our halfway part, so it's not always about how you start, but it's about how you finish. So I was actually talking to Mills yesterday. He said I'm always trying to come chase you down, and I said the same thing to him. You know what I'm saying? And I know AJ's up there too. I know Brady's been down, but Brady's never out. So it's a lot of great guys around this league, and I looked up to a lot of these guys and just try to make it fun.
Has there been one thing that you've done in the last few years that has really helped your game? I know you talked about in the offseason working as a pass catcher, but is anything with your training or anything at all that continues to help you be successful, James?
I would say my nutrition changed a lot. I feel like I slimmed down a little bit last year. I was a little bit like 217, 218. Now I'm a little like 211. So I'm a little bit lighter, and I feel a little bit quicker, a little bit more explosive. So just those things really.
Okay, have you adjusted your diet? Is there a special food that magic food you got going on?
I did a lot of. I was working at a lot of a calorie deficit, a lot of calorie counting, because, like I said, it was harder. It wasn't as easy now that I'm a little bit older to lose weight as it was when I was younger. So just checking more of what I eat, checking my calories, not really realizing how many empty calories are really out there, things like that.
Okay, so because we got a lot of people who are going to watch this, are going to okay, so how many calories does this guy consume in a day? What did you go from to what you're at now?
So I don't really count so much during the season, because I know during the season it's a lot harder, and obviously you're burning a lot more calories during the season. But during the off season, I would say my goal was always like 2,800, but then that would add as long as I was working out, so it ended up being probably around like 3,500 a day.
And game day, you're probably about 5,000?
I mean, like I said, during the season, I'm not counting calories. I feel like I try to work as hard as I can at practice so I don't have to count those calories.
Hey, back home fans always jacked up. Seen you out at the raceway there in Mission. We're gonna have some classic cars at the tailgate.
Yeah.
How much are you excited for this game environment?
I'm super excited. That was a super cool experience. I got to actually get in a couple of those cars. So, but yeah, I hope the fans turn out. I know we've been up and down at home, but Nate even said it. We got to take pride in playing at home, playing in BC place, playing in front of our fans. So we're gonna go, bring a good show and make it a good game for sure.